Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pivot with Confidence. Bronte Hamilton, and I'm joined by the lovely Kylie Atwell, our special guest speaker, who will be joining us soon to tell us more about her, what she does, and her amazing books. We have a special offer around her 2 books, which we'll let you know about at the end. But for now, I just want to jump straight into it and tell you all why we're all here. So we're here because this is a confidence connection. We're all about talking about confidence, and we are currently experiencing the great reimagination of work. So many people with confidence have already made the move and changed careers after 2 long years of reflection and reevaluation. Hands up if you can relate to a lot of reflecting and reevaluating over the past 2 years. But some of us have been left behind that are still unhappy in our role, our career, watching everyone around us make bold moves, but not having the confidence to do so and make those moves ourselves. Some people are letting fear that the grass may not be green on the other side get in their way. Some people are letting fear that, we don't want to let people around us down by making moves and changes. Some of us are just paralyzed in our comfort zone, and some have had the hope and self-belief drained from them so that they don't believe that they're actually worthy of chasing and pursuing and living out their dreams. So whatever it is that's holding you back, I'm here to tell you it does not have to. What if you could pivot from where you are right now to where you want to be and overcome those fears that are standing in your way? What if you could rediscover your purpose and start living the life you usually reserve only for your dreams? What if you could take bold action and start pivoting this week, right here, right now? So I'm so glad that you could join our Pivot with Confidence Masterclass. So you can stop watching from the sidelines, watching everyone else make bold moves and take action during this time, this reimagination of work, and start making moves yourself today. So why are we talking about pivoting with confidence in the great reimagination of work? Well, Harris Poll recently conducted a survey of American workers, which found that half of working Americans want to make a career change. Over half of the employees want to leave their jobs, and there's really 2 reasons that came out of that survey, as stated by Catalyst President and CEO Lorraine Harrington. One is that they feel that their employers don't understand them, that they weren't providing enough empathy with them. This is especially true for working parents, whether it be male or female. They don't feel good about the experience and they're looking to leave. The second reason is that people are really leaning into the flexibility that we've had a really good taste of over the past 2 years, whether that's flexibility by location, when they work, how they work. They just really want to leave if their employer is not going to continue providing that flexibility moving forward. So approximately 41% of those surveyed say that they are considering leaving their job because their company has not cared about their concerns during the pandemic. And a whopping 76% say they want their company to make work permanently flexible instead in terms of schedule and or location. So put your hands up if you are wanting to live a life of flexibility where, work revolves around you, you don't revolve around work. So of the roughly 50% of employed Americans who intend to make those career changes because of the pandemic or, since the pandemic, 41% are seeking flexible and or remote work, and 39% desire a raise or promotion. Everyone wants a raise and promotion, don't they? And 33% are just interested in changing industries entirely. So that is what leads us to this great reimagination of work. This is being led by employees, not employers. So for the change to happen, for all these great things that we've had a taste of to become permanent, employers or entrepreneurs such as yourself must build up the confidence to push for that change to happen, to make the workspace more flexible permanently. There will be 2 camps in this world moving forward, and you get to choose which one you join. One, there's Camp Confidence, where you take risks, make bold moves to live the life that you want. We don't settle for that standard 9-to-5 grind that we've all been living in the past. We're working 40 hours a week for over 40 years of your life just to possibly enjoy the last 20 or so years of your life. Just doesn't sit well with you. You just can't imagine yourself doing that. Where you confidently push for change so that work is flexible and it fits around your life instead of your life fitting in around work. And then there's the second camp, and that's called Camp Left Behind, where you stay doing what you're doing and stay dreaming about your dream life, but you don't actually take any action. Where you work hard all day for someone else's dreams and come home exhausted with no energy left to work on your own dreams. So let me know below which camp will you be joining, because I definitely know which one I'll be in. So that's not to say that you need to quit your job and go out on your own. Many people love the stability and routine of working for someone else and being able to leave work at the door when they clock out. Although, again, in our ever-changing world, where jobs are constantly evolving and changing, and with all the redundancies that have occurred over the past 2 years, I think it proves that no job is ever truly stable. But it may be that you don't quit your job that you love, but you take bold action to make that working space more flexible. We're seeing more companies make work from home permanent, with some coming into the office just once or twice a week or not at all. We're seeing companies trialing 4-day work weeks. We're also starting to see companies pay for productivity rather than by the hour. We've also seen the power of unions again in the example of Amazon recently, which helped improve working conditions. So I really challenge you to write a list of what your dream workspace and conditions would look like. Read it every day, keep it top of mind, and build your confidence so you can take bold action and challenge your current workplace to be more flexible. Because surely happier employees would lead to increased productivity for the company, right? It would lead to less burnout and stress, less sick days and mental health days, right? But on the other hand, in the survey, 22% of those looking for change, they're just going to quit their current job and start their own business. So is that you? If it is, I challenge you to write a list of what your dream business and work conditions would look like. Set a timer of just 20 minutes and let yourself free flow through all the ideas that come to mind. So let me know below whether you're wanting to change or not. And if you are wanting to change, are you wanting to stay an employee, or are you wanting to become an entrepreneur and go out on your own? Because both are totally fine. But this is all about just getting you to start thinking about what your passion and purpose is in life and taking the bold steps to go make that happen. So although this is based on an American survey, this thinking is reflected globally. The sad truth is, though, despite the high numbers of people wanting to make change, the majority of them never will, because they're stuck in their comfort zone and won't take the steps outside their comfort zone to make their dreams a reality. The truth is, the discomfort of doing something that you don't like day in, day out, that is familiar to you because you've been doing it so long, is more comfortable than stepping outside your comfort zone to go chase the thing that would truly fulfill you. Listen to that again. The truth is, the discomfort of doing something you don't like day in, day out, that is familiar to you because you've been doing it so long, is more comfortable than stepping outside your comfort zone to go chase the thing that would truly fulfill you. Stepping outside your comfort zone is hard, it's scary, it's uncomfortable, but the only way to get what you truly want in life, to truly fulfill your life's purpose, is to do exactly that. You have to get comfortable in being uncomfortable. The ironic thing is, once you've stepped outside your comfort zone, you've taken bold action, and then you've repeated that action often enough that you've become comfortable at it and confident at it, you've actually created a new comfort zone. It's a never-ending cycle of widening your comfort zone. You have to leave your comfort zone to build confidence, but once you're confident at something, you've created a new comfort zone. Now, there's some food for thought. So I've opened this masterclass with a lot of deep and heavy thinking, plenty for you all to ponder on about what you truly want in life and whether you're going to be brave enough to take bold action to go and achieve what you truly want in life. Now I'm going to hand it over to my friend Kylie Atwell from A Guide to Life to share her views on building confidence and taking action, and how her 2 workbooks we have right here may just help you to do that. So welcome, Kylie. I'm handing it over to you. Take it from here.
Thanks so much, Bronte. I'm so thrilled to be here and really excited about this masterclass. I can relate to absolutely everything you said, and I know so many people out there will be as well. And I truly want to commend you for actually putting this masterclass together, because it's so important. And I can honestly say that if I was to rewind 10 years, I would be signing up to this masterclass myself. So thank you. And I really hope that by the end of this, that we can give the audience or help make the audience create a new comfort zone for the audience. So that's sort of the aim for the people today, and give some really powerful tools. So just to recap on how I got to where I'm at today in stepping into my calling and completely embodying my purpose. We actually, in the recent Confidence Connections show, did a really deep dive into how I got there. So if anyone missed it and that they want to learn, more about that, they can always go back and watch it. I can't remember what episode it is, but I'm sure you'll fill everyone in.
I'll put a link in the comments.
Yeah, but to put it briefly, after a 40-year battle with anxiety and depression and yo-yoing between careers and searching for what was missing in my life, I finally came across key information and tools that allowed me to turn my life around in a matter of months. And because that change was so profound and that my life literally had done a complete 360, I really wanted to share that information with as many people as possible. And I really wanted to others to experience the same level of joy and freedom that I'd found. And I wanted to save them that long and expensive trial and error route that I'd taken. And I felt the best way to do this was to build a website. And I did so, a guideforlife.com, because I wanted it to serve as an online resource that could be accessed from anywhere in the world. Now, I went ahead and did that, and you can access that website today. And as my skills have evolved and developed, it's actually subsequently become a hub for my work. But the site still continues to be a condensed library of free information for reaching your highest potential. I share my story, and I reference all the people and the specific resources that changed my life. Now, while this website's been really well received, depending on which hyperlink you click on, you'll be taken down all sorts of fascinating rabbit holes, and that can make it, really difficult to know where to start and what's the next step to take. So I soon realized that my growing global clientele really needed a more step-by-step approach. Now, I just didn't want to offer one-on-one sessions to clients, because my objective has always been to make the process of self-transformation affordable and accessible to all. So I decided to put all of the information that was in my head into workbook format. And that's how the Build a Life You Love workbook series were born. Now, Bronte's held up 2, but there's actually 7 workbooks in the Build a Life You Love series. And each focuses on a different stage of the self-empowerment process, making the journey more digestible and tangible. And I knew that if I put all of my information into one book, no one would ever even pick it up, because it would be so thick, and they'd just think, oh, that's way too hard. So I've broken it down to step by step. And you'll also be glad to know that these workbooks aren't theoretical texts on psychology or neuroscience, nor do they continue to repeat the same message over and over again by ramming home why it's important to find your purpose and how to overcome your self-destructive habits without showing you how. So instead, my aim is to take the mystery out of the how by mapping a practical and clear path for you to identify your calling, and then to introduce you to processes for eliminating your fears, doubts, negative self-talk, limiting beliefs, and sabotaging behaviors. In other words, your survival programs that are holding you back in life. So my workbooks provide you with just enough theory for you to appreciate why I recommend the processes that I do, and then to get you to take action while you still feel inspired. Now, for those who are really thirsty for knowledge, I reference plenty of texts that cover the hard science in the back of each workbook. So you can feel free to knock your socks off if you want to dive deeper. But I want to reiterate here that they're called workbooks for a reason. They aren't books to be read. They're books to be worked through, and they're for those who are really serious about reaching their full potential. So the first workbook in the series is Find Your Purpose, Change Your Life. And it discusses the key differences between passion and purpose, along with the consequences for mistaking a passion for your purpose. And then it walks you through a unique curriculum that is specifically designed to help you accurately identify and embrace your life's calling. Now, I learned the hard way that passion does not equal purpose. I spent more than 6 years pouring all of my time, money, effort, and resources into a business I was deeply passionate about, but in the long run failed to provide the fulfillment I was seeking. And this cost me dearly, both financially and emotionally. In addition to losing my marriage and bucket loads of money, I lost absolutely all confidence in myself. I no longer trusted my feelings or my ability to make decisions. And it was this little detour that exacerbated my lifelong battle with anxiety and depression. And it's only in hindsight that I now understand that both passion and purpose have a place in our life, but they each play a very different role. I define passions as tangible things that you thoroughly enjoy doing simply because they give you immense pleasure. They bring joy to your life and they help to create a work-life balance. But ultimately, they're mostly self-serving. Your purpose, on the other hand, is your contribution to humanity. And that involves being of service to others by providing solutions to problems and adding real value to people's lives. And it's this act of serving others that gives your life fulfillment and meaning. And that's so important to know the difference between the two. So Workbook 1 contains 5 activities, which are comprised of a total of 25 key questions and a one-on-one consultation with a career direction specialist. The 25 thought-provoking questions are designed to help you establish the skills and talents that you possess, what you value most in life, the type of person you aspire to be, the fields and activities which inspire you the most, and where and how you're already innately displaying the qualities of your life's purpose without being consciously aware of it. So essentially, Workbook 1's designed to give you both a subjective and an objective approach for identifying your life's calling. The 25 questions help to find the answers from within, whereas the consultation gives you an objective opinion from someone who specializes in helping people understand their soul's purpose and what they're here to teach others this lifetime. And it's this combination of the two approaches that really helps you to own your purpose and gives you the confidence to go out and live it. Now, I want to give you a word of warning. Depending on your nature, you may be really tempted to dive right in and book the consultation with the career direction specialist so that you can discover and begin living your purpose straight away. Well, this is not something that I would recommend you do. Speaking from personal experience, there are no shortcuts when it comes to fulfilling your calling. Because I didn't know any better at the time, I spent more than 5 years chasing my tail, trying to determine the types of courses I needed to study, along with the work experience I needed to gain to have the knowledge, skills, and experience to fulfill my purpose. And instead of making any progress, I was actually creating more friction in my life. The actions I was taking were unintentionally pushing that reality further away. So instead of living my bliss, I found myself working a fast-paced, high-pressure job that left me feeling drained and gave me more stress than joy in order to sustain the amount of self-help content, workshops, and retreats that I was consuming. And this left me feeling more lost, confused, and depressed than ever. And it was only when I came across key information that I ended up completing what I call the inner work. And by that, I mean the 25 thought-provoking questions in the workbook, that I finally realized that I didn't need to become someone else to step into my life's purpose. It was actually who I really was at my very core. And all I really needed to do was to truly own it. And that's where Workbook 2, Imagineer Your Ultimate Future, comes in. Now, firsthand experience taught me that embodying my life's calling didn't mean that I needed to make sweeping changes to my life. In fact, it was quite the opposite. I had to learn how to make really deep but very subtle inner changes that would give me the confidence to successfully step into my calling. While this sounds really counterintuitive, I discovered that using my imagination, which Bronte just touched on before, was far more effective than taking physical actions. Now, I'm not the only one to discover this. Elite athletes, high achievers, visionary leaders, entrepreneurs, and even celebrities have been consciously creating their future for decades. For example, Olympic and professional athletes meticulously and repeatedly rehearse the actions and emotions of making the perfect shot or winning the race in their mind prior to the event itself. In other words, they mentally celebrate their moment of victory as if it was real. Now, science has only recently demonstrated the effectiveness of this practice with sophisticated imaging technology. Studies reveal that identical parts of the brain light up regardless of whether the action is practiced mentally or physically. And this indicates that the brain doesn't know the difference between a real and an imagined event, and we can use this to our advantage. As impossible as this may sound, research also shows that one can increase their muscle mass and physical strength simply by imagining themselves flexing muscles and lifting weights. It sounds crazy, right? But it's true. It was scientifically proven. So it stands to reason, if we can change our bodies without moving a muscle, just exercising our mind, what else are we capable of manifesting simply by using our mind and imagination? And this information was such a revelation to me. I already knew that the mind was powerful because just one negative thought could cause me to quickly spiral into anxiety and depression, and nothing in my outside world had changed in that moment. So I wondered what would happen if I could learn to harness my mind in positive and productive ways. And I found that by consciously daydreaming, or as I like to say, imagineering my desired future, I was able to begin bridging the gap between my reality at that time and the life I wanted to live. And as a result, not only did I constantly feel more upbeat throughout my day, I found that every time I envisaged what I refer to as my ideal day, I felt like I was transported to another place and time. And the future I was mentally rehearsing felt more real and more inspiring than my current reality. So much so that it felt like it was attainable. So I was actually giving myself a taste of the event before it happened in order to actually shift myself out of the comfort zone. I was building myself a new comfort zone purely by imagining that new future. Now, the even better part in doing this work and exercise was that my outer world automatically began aligning to match my vision. In other words, opportunities were coming to me rather than me having to seek them out or make them happen. So imagining your ultimate future walks you through a powerful yet easy to follow process of designing, building, and rehearsing an inspiring and emotionally charged life vision. Now, I can hear you all groaning because I can hear the thoughts now. Now, I want to say, don't worry, you will not be required to make a 1, 5, or 10-year life plan or do financial projections around the money that you need to live the lifestyle you desire. You also won't need to develop timelines and agendas. My life vision methodology is so much more fun than that. Instead, I want you to think about future fragrances, playing dress up, and soul-stirring soundtracks. Imagine viewing a blockbuster movie trailer in which you're the superhero. Now, you might be thinking that just sounds way too much fun. How could it possibly be effective? But I can assure you that it's a very powerful process and it works on multiple levels. Practically, it clearly defines the life that you wish to live. And this makes your decision making so much easier. And it also gives your life so much more direction. Psychologically, creating a new life story assists you to overcome automated thought patterns. If we live in that story, you're not spiraling into that negative and depression constantly. Biologically, it creates new neural pathways and changes in your biochemistry, which is needed for your brain and body to accept this vision that you've created as the truth. On a motivational level, it gives you something positive to focus on whenever you encounter challenges in life, which of course, we do all the time, particularly over the last 2 years. And while this one might be a bit woo-woo for some, on a quantum level, it acts to send a clear message out into the universe about what you want to create. And in doing so, you actually zero in and lock on to that potential reality over all the other possibilities that exist. Now, I personally feel that imagineering your ultimate future by creating an inspiring and emotionally charged vision is not only the most fun part of the self-transformation journey, it truly has the power to create miraculous changes in your life. When you biologically become the person you aspire to be, you step out of your comfort zone. Your outer world automatically reshapes your life to match your vision. And like me, opportunities that you've always dreamed of are going to come to you. Now, while the focus of this workbook centers around the big picture aspect of your life, it can also be adapted to smaller goals or outcomes, and such as a loving romantic relationship, financial prosperity, improved health, weight loss, a dream kitchen, the right school for your kids, or even the ideal pet. So regardless of what you want to manifest, create, develop, produce, or experience, the process is the same, and it can be summarized in 4 easy steps. 1, determine what you want to experience. 2, ground your intention from an idea into the physical form by using fun activities that engage all your senses. 3, hang on, I've got to get my fingers right. 3, eliminate subconscious resistance, which I show you how to do in Workbook 2. And 4, detach from the outcome. Now, if Workbook 1 and 2 pique your interest, you'll have the opportunity to win one of them, and Bronte will give you more of the details later. But I'll just give you a quick summary of Workbooks 3 to 7. They're currently yet to be published, and I'm in the process of writing Workbook 3. And Workbook 3 will give you you'll in that working through that workbook, you'll actually undergo a complete audit of your life to determine where and why you are living out of alignment with who you are at your core. And then I introduce you to methods that will allow you to quickly and painlessly process the emotions that arise as you start to leave the toxic people and the aspects of your life behind. So, all that fear and panic that you're thinking every time that you sort of think about stepping out of that comfort zone, we can eliminate that through processes that release that emotional baggage. Workbook 4 explains the role your passions play in your life and references resources for uncovering and expressing your passions and really incorporating them into your life. Workbook 5 focuses on the power of the subconscious mind. I explain how it controls your life and how you can overcome any faulty programs that you're running so that you can be a full expression of yourself. Workbook 6 explores synchronicities and intuition to help you recognize and interpret the messages and the signs that life is sending you. Because life speaks to us all the time. It's constantly giving us information and feedback, and I could go on about that forever. Workbook 7 discusses why trying to make something happen or forcing an outcome in your life actually pushes it further away. And then I introduce you to effective techniques that help you surrender and fully detach from the outcome. Now, I don't know about you, Bronte, but I find that one of the hardest things because I'm like, right, I know what I want. I'm ready to go. And detaching from the outcome, which is in some ways the biggest secret, is almost the thing that I've found the most impossible. So sharing those techniques will be really helpful, I think, for a lot of people. So if you'd like to know more about me and my work, you can visit aguideforlife.com. So I'll hand back over to you, Bronte.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kylie. I could just listen to you all day, and I can definitely relate to the, detaching from the outcome. And enjoy the process, and, go along for enjoy the journey is definitely key. And I love what you say about the imagineering and picturing yourself doing something. I've read studies, I've seen those studies too, and read ones of where they've taken, can't remember what sports team, whether it was basketball or American football or something like that, but they took two teams that they were going to play off against each other or whatever, and one team practiced physically, like going through the moves and the gameplay and stuff, and the other team just visualized it. They didn't walk through the gameplay, they just visualized themselves doing it, and the team that did the visualization actually performed better and achieved, won the game and achieved the results compared to the team that was just practicing the moves, which is crazy to think. And also, it's not a sort of key secret for that is not just picturing yourself winning. I think which comes back to enjoying the process. We can often picture ourselves doing the end result, like picturing yourself getting the award, the medal, the gold medal at the Olympics, but you've got to picture yourself actually going through the moves and visualizing the steps to get there to the final result. You might picture, if you want a new job or career, you might picture yourself in that career, but you've got to actually visualize yourself, imagineer yourself, doing all the little steps to get there as well, and enjoying that process and that journey. And absolutely love what you talked about on the difference between passion and purpose, because they say that you'll always come back to service, that no matter how successful you are, if you go out and fulfill your ego and your passions and just spend money on you go get rich and famous and spend all your money on yourself, you'll never find fulfillment. You'll always come back to service, because that's the only way to fulfillment. Or you can skip all that stuff and just go straight into service, but some people have to take a detour to service and go keep their ego happy, and until they realize that they're never going to be happy until they come back to service. So
that's
it.
That was great.
Great.
And the thing is, so many people are advised to follow their bliss, and whilst living my purpose feels like bliss, it's more of an adjective to describe living your purpose. It's not necessarily the instructions to to find your purpose. So your purpose really is about, as you said, serving, being of service. And only you can serve others in a particular way. I define purpose as a combination of the talents that you're born with, the skills that you acquire throughout life, and your life experiences, particularly the challenges that allow you to serve others in a way that only you can. So you have a very, very special gift to bring to humanity, and we're missing it by you not stepping into your purpose. So you're doing humanity a disservice by not having the courage to actually step into it, and that's what I hope that my workbook inspires you to do, and to make it so much easier as well. So
and I think too it's important to note you can be of service no matter what job or career you're in. And I think people think, well, to be of service I have to go do a service sort of role, where you don't. Whatever your gift, no matter what job you're in, you can find way to serve others by doing that job the best you can, that it's going to benefit not job you're in, you're in service to someone in some way. It's just a matter of tapping into what that way is. A career that it's having a career that allows you the time to, on the weekends, go volunteer somewhere or help someone do something. There's so many different ways to bring service into your life, which is a whole nother topic for a whole nother day, but it's just service, and
it's so true,
your purpose through that. So
there's just a little bit of a delay happening at the moment, I think. But I just wanted to sort of elaborate on that. Great. I just want to elaborate on
Yeah.
that is that, one of the questions I ask people in that workbook, so you're giving away one of the questions, is that, you will already be, there's certain things that you just can't help but do. It's just part of your nature. And if you really start to observe what that is, that in itself will give you a very big clue and key to what it is that your purpose is. So for example, there'll be a role that you do in your job that has nothing to do with the job that you're employed to do. It's just something you can't help but do. So it might be organizing all the social committee stuff, or it could be making sure that the place is work health and safety proficient. So there's just going to be something that's part of your nature that you're already doing. And so it's just a matter of teasing those little things out, and starting to step into them on a more professional capacity rather than just doing them because you find it easy and you love doing it.
Okay, yeah, I think that delay, but yeah, no, totally agree. And just to wrap things up, the 2 workbooks, you can go in the draw to win these. I'm sure everyone wants to get their hands on them now. If you would like one of these, write me in the comments below. We know that you've watched this and you're interested in winning these. And I will leave this up for replay and we'll draw the winners next week. But definitely keen to, help people build a life that you love through these workbooks. And come back same time tomorrow to find out more about how Kylie for joining us and sharing your knowledge and wisdom. And thank you so much for everyone who's tuned into this masterclass. I'll see you back here tomorrow for part 2 of how to pivot with purpose. So thank you, everyone.
Thanks so much, Bronte. It was an absolute pleasure. And thanks, everyone, for joining us.